Browns and Steelers at FirstEnergy Stadium, 1 o'clock, Mary Kay. It is, of course, the season opener for both teams, and the weather is going to play a factor. Let's start there. Lots of rain in the forecast, high winds, flooding in some areas. It could be ugly on Sunday when the Browns and Steelers take the field.
Yeah, you know, everyone has waited so long for this game, and now weather, like you said, could be a huge factor in this game. Who would be at an advantage if it pours like that? It's hard to say right now, but the Steelers don't have Le'Veon Bell for this game, and the Browns have their three-headed monster at running back, so it might be a little advantage to them.
Yeah, no Le'Veon Bell, of course, no matter what the weather, that helps the Browns. It would be James Conner carrying the load. And look, anytime it's not Le'Veon Bell, that's going to be a downgrade no matter how good James Conner is.
Yeah, and you know what? Christian Kirksey even addressed that yesterday. He said, look, James Conner had a really nice preseason. He's a good running back, but he's not Le'Veon Bell. He's not a threat in both the running game and the passing game the way Le'Veon is. So no matter how you slice it, the Steelers, who also have some infighting about the topic, will be hurt without Le'Veon.
Now the Browns do have to deal with Juju Smith-Schuster and, of course, Antonio Brown. And, you know, the thing is, as good as Brown is, having Juju on the other side, things open up for him, and he can be a real problem as well. We saw him go for over 100 yards against the Browns in Week 17. That's a tough tandem, and Denzel Ward, Terrence Mitchell, they're going to be in the crosshairs.
Yeah, they really are. Boy, I mean, you look at this first start for Denzel Ward. What a baptism by fire for the number 4 overall pick, having an opportunity to go against Antonio Brown and or Juju Smith-Schuster, depending on how they run the defense and whether they take sides or whether they take guys. But that's going to be a tremendous challenge for this overhauled secondary, especially Denzel Ward.
And now for the Browns, they are rolling out a new left tackle, Desmond Harrison. So we're going to see his debut against some pretty good pass rushers for the Steelers. It will be him at left tackle, Joel Bitonio at left guard. You mentioned the test Denzel Ward has to face, and Desmond Harrison gets to face his first test against the Steelers in the season opener.
Yeah, who would have thought, Joe Thomas retires and we fast forward all the way to the opener against the Steelers, and they are starting an undrafted rookie named Desmond Harrison. I have a story about him up there online that'll give you all the background about him, but one of the key things to remember, he spent 3 solid years off the football field and then came back for 1 year before the Browns signed him as an undrafted rookie. He's stepping in there. He's very raw. Doesn't have very much experience, but people rave about this guy's athleticism. I'm anxious to see what he can do.
Well, and one good thing going for him is there's not a lot of tape out there on him, just some preseason tape, obviously some of his college tape, but how much can you really glean from West Georgia film if you're trying to attack him in the NFL? So not a lot of tape on him. Maybe that'll be an edge for him. Again, though, going back to the weather, I think it is going to be an advantage for the Browns. I know Hugh Jackson has said that this is a weatherproof team. I think they're built for weather like this, with Tyrod Taylor being able to take care of the football, 3 really quality running backs. I think the Browns might win this game, Mary Kay. I'm going to give a weird score just because of the weather. I'm going to say 12-10 Browns.
Wow, that is quite a score, and it's also quite a bold prediction, Dan. And I'm not really sure exactly. I mean, the Steelers are such an experienced team. They play in Pittsburgh. They played in all kinds of elements. So I don't know how much of an advantage the weather will be for the Browns, and I do think it will be a factor. I've had a hard time trying to decide what I want to do in terms of picking this game, but I think I'm also going to pick the Browns, in part because I think I just want to show a little bit of faith in the guys after how hard they've worked, how they've turned over this team, and why not just change the energy around here, and I'm going to predict them to win. And I think my score right now, for some reason, I have like 23-20 in my mind, but I know it would be hard to get there if it's pouring rain.
Of course, speaking of guys built for weather like this, I think you could say that about a guy like Ben Roethlisberger as well. Either way, we have all kinds of predictions. Of course, Mary Kay's story on Desmond Harrison, and of course, we'll have complete coverage of the game on Sunday at cleveland.com/Browns.